Welcome. I'm Lance Hoffman, Director of the GW Cybersecurity Policy and Research Institute. CSPRI, the Cybersecurity Policy and Research Institute, is a center for GW and Washington to promote technical research and policy analysis of problems that have a significant cybersecurity and information assurance component. Our mission is to encourage, promote, facilitate, and execute interdisciplinary research and studies in this area. If you go to our website at www.cspri.seas.gwu.edu, and if you can't remember all that, there's plenty of handouts here. You can see lots of material on our scholarship programs, our support for CyberWatch, a network of over 75 academic institutions focusing on developing a stronger cybersecurity workforce. Some of our current projects like Sea to Shining Sea. But that's who CSPRI is and roughly what it does. I want to introduce our staff. Jonathan Bench here is recording the video here. And my assistant director, Dr. Kostis Teregas, has primary responsibility for external relations. Kostis, do you want to say a couple words on it?
Just very quickly, Lance has already promoted the Institute's flyer. We're just now kind of beginning to develop relationships with other academic institutions, with the private sector, with other research think tanks. So if any of you are interested in combining resources with that of CSPRI, please look us up, look me up specifically, my email's here, and we'd be happy to discuss a relationship further. We're all about collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Kostis. This seminar series, this is the third event in our academic year seminar series. We welcome your ideas and resources, get them to me or to Kostis for future events. In fact, the next event is going to be on February 15th at noon in room 302. We can't announce the speakers yet since I don't have them all lined up. It's sort of a direct follow-on from this. This is a little more targeted. Next month, that day, February 15th, is going to be the netizens go to Washington. So it used to be Mr. Smith, but now it's the netizens. Okay, what does that mean? And it's following on from this. I couldn't resist mocking these up. You probably saw these, and if you want to look later, we had on both sides of the SOPA debate last week and the week before, full-page ads in the New York Times from both sides, which has not happened for those of us who are old-timers on the internet. This is pretty new stuff for the wars going on like this. And then, of course, cartoons. Here's a strip of potential SOPA PIPA revisions, color cartoons. So if you haven't seen these, come and look at them. No matter what side you're on, it's a sea change. Okay. We will automatically opt you in to get notices of future events. If you don't want to be opted in, just tell us and we'll take you off the list. Since those who have registered anyway, we know who you are more or less. We have your email address. Many of you have signed up for lunch. Don't eat now. Typically those of you who come here before, and I know there are many repeaters here, we break just before 1, so if people have to leave, they can leave, and then we all grab a lunch and sit down and go back and forth. We may or may not reconfigure things a bit to have a very interesting panel, or not panel, but a back and forth discussion. We do not video record that. We do video record these, and these will be available later on our website. If you go to our website now, you see the previous couple of debates and discussions we've had. This one will be available in due time, both on our website and on YouTube, but the discussion will not be. Now, before I introduce the speakers, we traditionally go around and introduce ourselves. I was concerned because I knew there were going to be a good number of people here, and maybe there were too many, but I think I know many of you in this group, and this is a really pretty good group, and I think they're pretty self-disciplined, so I'm going to do that anyway. With the exception of the speakers, I want to ask everybody else who has not been introduced to go around and just say, in essence, name, rank, and serial number. Your name, your affiliation, and nothing else. No commercials or anything like that. But we'll give our speakers especially, and everybody else, a sense of, the multiplicity of disciplines and people that deal with cybersecurity in this Washington area. So I'm going to start, and because some people are more soft-spoken than others, I'm going to pass the mic around and let Jeremy start it and just keep it going.
Jeremy Epstein, Senior Computer Scientist, SRI International.
Sherry Lawrence Flieger, I'm the Director of Research for the Institute for Information Infrastructure Protection at Dartmouth College, but I live here in DC.
We'll get you guys later. Everybody here is.
I'm Cameron Wilson, Director of Public Policy for the Association for Computing Machinery.
Carl Landwehr, independent consultant.
Chris Krug, I'm a senior in the CS department here under the IASP scholarship.
Abdul Yusuf, Chairman of Computer Science at GW.
James Sang, recently retired from IBM Research, Yorktown Heights.
Jian Hua, School of Business, University of District of Columbia.
Hi, Stephanie Fiore, Department of Health Policy, and I'm a researcher.
Jim Lin from SAIS.
Bob Gelman, Privacy Consultant.
I'm Roger Cochetti. I work with companies in the technology sector.
I'm Joan Chevry from Educause.
Maya Larson, I'm a graduate student here at GW in computer security.
Stephen Moxley, a cyber core student. Tim Brzezinski, I'm a cyber core student as well.
Rebecca Hopper, sorry, cyber core student. Asha Wald, I'm also a cyber core student.
Andrea Pullman, a cyber core student in the School of Business. Regina Elwell, I'm a graduate student in the High Tech Crime Investigation Program.
David Hong, I'm a graduate student at the Elliott School of International Affairs.
Michael Schick, I'm another cyber core student.
Chris Price Jones, I'm trespassing in the student area. I'm a professor of computer science.
Joe Matthews, Naval Research Lab, ISP alumni from GW.
David McCauley, Bloomberg B&A, Electronic Commerce and Law Report.
Mary Levering, many years with the Library of Congress. I'm a copyright lawyer and work with the United States Copyright Office, and so I'm interested in both sides.
Eric Berger, Director of the Center for Secure Communications at Georgetown, the other place, and in full disclosure, I'm also a trustee of the Internet Society.
Okay, thank you all. So you see why I wanted to go around. This is a pretty good group, pretty informed group. If you don't know, probably most of you do, but if you don't know what the Cyber Corps is, it's our main scholarship program here for cybersecurity scholarships. We detail it. If you go to the C-SPRI website, there's a pointer to it as one of our programs, and you can find out more about it. And I can't resist the deadline for applications. If you or your friends or your children or your grandchildren are interested in applying, the deadline is January 31st for those applications. They're full ride scholarships for U.S. citizens in cybersecurity. Enough said. Anyone wants to find out more about it, see me afterwards. Okay, the proposition here is resolved that the Internet's domain name system should be utilized to try to control bad behavior such as copyright and trademark infringement. Arguing for the proposition is Paul Brigner, Senior Vice President and Chief Technology Policy Officer for the Motion Picture Association of America. He helps drive the association's strategy on key technology issues impacting the protection of intellectual property. He's also engaged in the continued development of industry-wide content standards that will enable consumers to easily access content in the digital age. Mr. Brigner most recently served as Executive Director, Internet and Technology Policy for Verizon, where he held several senior management positions. Prior to his service there, he held senior positions for technology companies Digital Focus and Cambridge Technology Partners. Arguing against the proposition will be David Sohn, Senior Policy Counsel and Director of the Center for Democracy and Technology's Project on Intellectual Property and Technology. Prior to joining CDT, Mr. Sohn worked for nearly 5 years as Commerce Counsel for Senator Ron Wyden, where he advised the Senator on technology and telecommunications issues coming before the Senate Commerce Committee. In that capacity, he worked on legislation relating to things like spyware, digital copyright, and online privacy, and played a major role in enactment of the first federal anti-spam law. Before joining Senator Wyden's office, he practiced law in Washington, Wilmer, Cutler, and Pickering, with a focus on telecommunications law and regulation. Before that debate, as promised, we're going to have a 10-minute introduction of, excuse me, of DNS, DNS for non-techies, basically, by Leslie Daigle from the Internet Society. Leslie is the Chief Internet Technology Officer of the Internet Society. As chair of the Internet Architectural Board from 2002 to 2007, she steered it and the related IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, through a period of important industry and institutional change by working with diverse technical groups to align their interests and develop sustainable relationships. She's been a strong promoter of the development of Internet identifiers and directory systems. She was previously a consulting engineer at Cisco, and before that, Director of Directory Research at VeriSign. She's got a master's in computing and information science from the University of Gulf, and a bachelor's in math and computer science from McGill University.